Okay, year three. Hopefully, with Ms Lopez, you've listened to the first part of our story, The Iron Man by Ted Hughes. This is our first ever chapter book. We're going to be reading the entire thing. Now, the PDF, the copy, the computer online copy of the whole book is on the Google Classroom page, but this one is a really nicely illustrated one. So, Ted Hughes is our author. And down here you can see Laura Carlin has done the illustrations, which are really quite stark and help us to hear and see what is going on. But it's the words that we're listening out for when you describe the Iron Man, which is our writing task at the beginning of this week. So let's get to the next part of this story. Get a little bit closer so you can see some of it. Right. Just before dawn, as the darkness grew blue and the shapes of the rocks separated from each other, two seagulls flew crying over the rocks. They landed on a patch of sand. They had two chicks in a nest on the cliff. Now they were searching for food. One of the seagulls flew up. Ah! He had seen something. He glided low over the sharp rocks. He landed and pick something up. Something shiny, round, and hard. What do you think that is, by the way, thinking back to when you heard the story before? Something shiny, round, and hard. It was one of the Iron Man's eyes. He brought it back to his mate. They both looked at this strange thing, and the eye looked at them. It rolled from side to side, looking first at one gull, then the other. The eye can move. The gulls, peering at it, thought it was a strange kind of clam peeping at them from its shell. Then the other gull flew up, wheeled around, and landed and picked something up. Some awkward, heavy thing. The gull flew low and slowly, dragging the heavy thing. Finally, the gull dropped it beside the eye. This new thing had 5 legs. It moved. The gulls thought it was a strange kind of crab. They did not know they had found the Iron Man's eye and the Iron Man's right hand. But as soon as the eye and the hand got together, the eye looked at the hand. Its light glowed blue. The hand stood up on 3 fingers and its thumb and craned its forefinger like a long nose. It felt around. It touched the eye. Gleefully, it picked up the eye and tucked it under its middle finger. The eye peered out between the forefinger and thumb. Now the hand could see, so the hand put the eye on top of it, and now it can see. It's a seeing hand. It looked around. Then it darted and it jabbed one of the gulls with its stiffly held finger, and then darted at the other and jabbed him. The 2 gulls flew up into the wind with a frightened cry. Slowly then the hand crept over the stones, searching. It ran forward suddenly, grabbed something, and tugged. But the thing was stuck between 2 rocks. The thing was one of the Iron Man's arms. At last the hand left the arm and went scuttling hither and thither among the rocks till it stopped and touched something gently. This thing was the other hand. This new hand stood up and hooked its finger around the little finger of the hand with the eye and let itself be led. Now the 2 hands, seeing one leading the blind one, walking on their fingertips, went back together to the arm, and together they tugged it free. Imagine for a moment, by the way, you're on the beach, watching 2 giant metal hands walking around, one of them with an eye on top, pulling an arm. What would you think was happening? What would you think that they're trying to do? Let's catch up with where I was. Right. Oh, if I lost my place. Here we go. The arm stood up and walked on its hand. The other hand clung on behind as before, and this strange trio went searching. An eye! There it was, blinking at them speechlessly behind a black and white pebble. The seeing hand fitted the eye to the blind hand, and now both hands could see. They went running among the rocks. Soon they found a leg. They jumped on top of the leg, and the leg went hopping over the rocks with the arm swinging from the hand that clung to the top of the leg. The other hand clung on top of that hand. The two hands, with their eyes, guided the leg, twisting it this way and that, as a rider guides a horse. Soon they found another leg and the other arm. Now each hand, with an eye under its palm and an arm dangling from its wrists, rode on a leg separately about the beach. Hop, hop, hop they went, peering among the rocks. One found an ear, and at the same moment the other found the giant torso. So it's all this bit of the body here, your chest, your tummy. Then the busy hands fitted the legs to the torso. Then they fitted the arms, each fitting the other, and the torso stood up, with legs and arms, but no head. It walked about the beach, holding its eyes in its hand, searching for its lost head. At last there was the head, eyeless, earless, nested in a heap of red seaweed. Now in no time the Iron Man had fitted his head back, and his eyes were in place, and everything in place except for one ear. He strode about the beach, searching for his lost ear, as the sun rose over the sea and the day came. The two gulls sat on their ledge high on the cliff. They watched the immense man striding to and fro over the rocks below. Between them, on the nesting ledge, lay a great iron ear. The gulls could not hear it. The baby gulls could not eat it. There it lay on the high ledge. Far below, the Iron Man searched. At last he stopped and looked at the sea. Was he thinking that the sea had stolen his ear? Perhaps he was thinking the sea had come up while he lay scattered and had gone back down again with his ear. He walked towards the sea. He walked into the breakers. And there he stood for a while, the breakers bursting around his knees. We can see just a slight image of him here in the night as he walks out into the sea itself. And then he walked in, deeper, deeper, deeper. The gulls took off and glided low down over the great iron head that was now moving slowly out through the swell. The eyes blazed red. So what colours have the eyes turned so far in this chapter? His eyes were level with the wave tops, turned red, till the great big wave covered them, and the foam spouted over the top of the head. The head still moved out under water. The eyes and the top of the head appeared for a moment in a hollow of the swell. Now the eyes were green. Then the sea covered them, and the head. The gulls circled low over the line of bubbles that went on, moving slowly out into the deep sea. The next chapter is called The Return of the Iron Man, and we'll get to that one soon. Thanks very much for listening. Look forward to seeing all of your lovely work. Goodbye.